Oh! Goodness! I have got one more day of epic adventure ahead of me in Western North Carolina. And you know what? I always want to try this completely impossible climb. Ooh. Every time I see it, I think I can actually do it. Man. Uh-oh, shift. It didn't shift. Ooh. All right. Next time, I will be back because this is definitely one of my favorite loops in the world. Avery Creek, Bennet Gap. I'm just out here for the holidays, heading home after this, but man, this is just a fantastic place to visit. So many epic rides, so many good things. You have to spend a lifetime here to ride it all. This is upper Black Mountain. A few days ago, Sarah and I did the other side of Black Mountain. Upper to middle to lower. That upper section, I don't know. Good to do it once. Everything's good to do once, but never again. On my trusty rental bike from Squatch Bikes in Brevard, they were very kind to lend Sarah and I a bike for this trip. I took Sarah's bike back this morning. She's out hanging with the family. I got some work to do. It's the Yeti SB140. Been feeling good. Endlessly surprised by every demo bike I ride can pop up in the air like crazy. Something's wrong with my my default settings on the bikes that I set up. Last time I was on this trail, I saw the biggest and meanest rattlesnake of all time. My buddy Dan was able to shoo it off the trail for us. Already spent probably an hour climbing up Clawhammer Road. Ooh, it was a little harder this time. I went a little faster, but I'm powered by a bag of McDonald's fries. Can be best described as lifeless after the heat comes out of them. Oh man. Just fuel for survival out here. Trying to zero in on what messes with my throat. So fries are a nice neutral thing. No e-bikes allowed in Pisgah National Forest, but little Cessna planes can fly over constantly and bug ya. Oh yeah, this is like all the tough, techie climbing. I remember doing this with Sarah for the first time and just being endlessly impressed how she was able to just fight through all the tough tech, where I was kind of the only one that I knew that would do that. That's how I knew she was my match. I took a food sensitivity blood test a few years ago, and it gave me a good readout of all the different things I was sensitive to, but I don't know. It should be that simple, but it never is. Oh man. My AI-powered doctor can't come soon enough. You go to the doctor and they're like, okay, we'll put you on this medication, that medication. But what's the problem? What's causing the problem? I know we can put a Band-Aid on it and sew it up and hope it doesn't bust loose, but I'd like to fix the problem. It's the same thing with drugs and alcohol. People think banning drugs and alcohol will solve the problem. The problem isn't heroin. The problem isn't Budweiser. The problem is bad childhood, traumatic things that you can't figure out why you're mad, dealing with your own emotions. That's the problem. That's where the money needs to go. Legalize it all, bankrupt the cartels in an instant. No more gang violence. Then what? Then we have to actually look in the mirror and see what the problem is. Imagine all the new strains of cocaine that Pfizer could come out with, advertised on 60 Minutes. New cocaine. And I say all this as a guy who's never done drugs or alcohol, so, you know, I was able to avoid it somehow. I was reading something recently about kids today don't get bored. They get anxiety because they have endless things to fill their attention. But when I was a kid, we were bored. We had nothing to do. We had video games, but it still eventually you're like, oh, I want to do something different. And that's where the imagination blossoms in the void, in the nothingness. That's why mountain biking is so amazing. Get out and do a 1 hour climb and let your thoughts rattle around in your head. And then the payoff with the great downhill. Oh, it's a circle of life. And then all that suffering leads to a reward on the downhill. Man, such an amazing circle. I always think about hunting and fishing where you might get something or you might just sit out there alone in the cold for 4 hours. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, I need a couple more fries to power through that. Whew. Yeah. First little taste of downhill, if I remember correctly. Oh man, I am super cold when I get going again with the sweat. I need the evaporation. Whew. In the summer, that's like the most blissful feeling. Right now, it's a little different. Old ice cube chest. This is also where I had my first ever ride on the gray Ripmo V2. So amazing. Oh yeah. Whew. Is there a more fun way to get fit than mountain biking? You know, I would say CrossFit is a better way to get fit. If you do CrossFit every single day, you're gonna get whipped into shape pretty quickly, but the fun is kind of subjective. You think you had fun, really the fun is just like, oh, I'm done, I did a good job, but that's just pure suffering. Where this is like just a good 70% suffering, but that 30% bliss, happiness, and fun is like, it just fuels everything else. You know, I thought I'd be going home this winter, spending a lot of time outside of Everstoke, but we paid someone to do the snow plowing. So I'm gonna be up at Everstoke and I'm gonna have to figure out my own little workout routine to do my classic pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups and air squats. Keep myself going good from withering away. Hui. I always love a big triangle ride where you do a big climb and a long descent, but having these like little climbs and descents in between is nice too. Kind of get you fired up. Yeah, this will be like a 3,000 foot day, so no joke. Oh, push through, push through. I want to stop so bad. This is where fitness is forged, breaking through the limits. Can always go a little slower, stay on the bike. No. No rest, no rest. Keep going. Self-sabotage. I am so glad that this ride still holds up as one of my all-time favorites. I'll tell you about another one of my all-time favorites, especially when it comes to hydration. It's Element, the fine sponsor of today's video. The Element mission is to restore health through hydration. If you don't have your electrolytes dialed in, you're gonna get headaches and cramps. You're gonna have that general tiredness that we all hate. Element checks all the boxes for me, tastes fantastic, doesn't have a pound of sugar, keeps me fired up through a ride, but doesn't make me jittery like all that caffeine stuff, and it never messes with my stomach. The Element thesis is out with sugar and in with salt. They believe that most people, especially
active people that get out and sweat a lot need more salt in their diet to feel good and perform their best. One packet of Element in a water bottle is a perfect way to give your body the sodium, potassium, and magnesium that it needs. And an even better way, in my opinion, is through the Element sparkling water drinks. Have these before and after a ride as well. If you give Element a try, I really think you're gonna like it, but anything's possible, and they have a fantastic refund policy. Just shoot them an email. If you don't like it, you don't have to send the product back. You are taking zero risk on your first taste of Element. So head on over to drinkelement.com/BKXC, whether it's your first order or your 500th, use my link and you're gonna get a free 8-pack sample pack. You can try some different flavors. You can share them out with a friend. I hope you're still staying active through this winter, and if you are, you still got to get your electrolytes dialed in. Do it with Element. Head on over to drinklmnt.com/BKXC.
All right, here we go. Whoa. Goodness. Pisgah area Sorba has been working on this trail, getting it back up and running after the hurricane. Big shout out to them as always. Oh, should have done it. I've done it before. Sight unseen drops are just always tough for me. Man, this is so rowdy. I love it. The rowdy flow like nothing else. Man, how can a mountain bike take this much beating? Whoa, a little kicker here. A nice landing. Oh, it's intense. I just passed my first rider of the day, and he had some Trail One Crockett carbon handlebars. That's pretty amazing, actually. Got the BCPOV sticker. I think my sticker's on here somewhere. So that was just a section of upper black. Now we're actually on Avery Creek. Ooh, yeah. Sendero! Yeah, that guy was actually climbing up this. And he's gonna go down Black Mountain. I told him this was better, but that's okay. Oh, man. I'm feeling really confident with these drops. Not confident to go off of that, but this is really working well. Oh, yeah, it's so cool to see the Trail One stuff in the wild. And of course, I'm going to donate $100 from the Trail One Treasury to Pisgah area Sorba for keeping this trail alive. We built the whole company to donate back to trail stewardships, and just to keep everything running, keep it alive, make it so there's a mountain biking economy. People can spend money on lunch and hotels and rental bikes. Whew. Wow, this is crazy. Chunderflow of my dreams. Boy, I was having a hard time getting around that rock. Staring it down. Still the one. Still the one that I love. The epitome of mountain biking. Oh yeah. Man, I was just listening to an audiobook, Siddhartha by Herman Hesse, and this lady is mispronouncing so many words. There's so many like pops on the microphone. I heard her sniffle at one point. What is Audible doing? Where's the quality control? I mispronounce words on purpose. Oh, it's so funny. I so rarely clap out my fork, but on this one, I am definitely clapping it out every once in a while, which is good, right? You're using all of it most of the time, and then you have nothing left on the big drops. I'm okay with that. Ooh. Oh, so good. Yeah, she doesn't know how to pronounce venerable. Over and over, pronouncing venerable wrong. And the word is in the book like 1,000 times. Oh. Yeah. Whoa. Leaf sweeping, slipping. Oh God. Buckaroo bonsai. Whew. Man, it's just incredible that this, you know, you have to imagine whenever this trail was built for logging or something 100 years ago, that it was the easiest way up. So it wasn't straight down the hill, and it had enough for mules or whatever to get up here. So it like has enough of a sustainable fall to it. But it's just incredible how friggin' rocky, rooty, and unrelenting. Amazing. Just absolute real deal. Like if you tried to build it again, it's just not possible. You have to wait 100 years. And just insane that it holds up. Big hurricane, tons of riders coming through, and that the same spirit of the trail is here. Man. Yee! Don't look too hard. Don't think about it too much. Whoa. One of the most mythical, awesome things about mountain biking is that pretty much everybody starts at a low level, and then as you get better, you can unlock all these different destinations and all these rides, and your ability just like feeds into the fun so much. I guess golf is a lot like that. Go play some of the most historic courses and hopefully not get your butt whooped by the course. Man, can you imagine being like one of the best baseball players, football players of all time, being on a team that just always is bad, and you never really got to contribute the way you wanted to? I'm sure there's so many. And back in the day, when it was like you still had to work a second job in the off season, oh, that's tough. Today, you know, you could be on the Cleveland Browns and make all your money and kind of hopefully be at peace that you did the best you could, but while other guys are getting drug along winning the world championship. But with the team sport, you got these friends for life, compadres, soldiers in the foxhole with you. Compared to the individual sports, it's like, yeah, you're probably kind of friendly with everyone else, but kind of not. You could live in a real bubble. This part of Avery just kind of slowly peters out to the road. Weesh. Oh, trail realignment. Whew. Oh, there was a bridge there. I see the remnants. The guy I met on the trail did not have a map, did not know where he was going. Come on, please. get trail forks on your phone at this point. You're just asking for trouble. Oh, surprise, surprise. My shoes did dry out from the previous ride, which is nice. Oops. All right, not bad, not bad. Oh, muddy bog that I stepped in. Yeah, driving around, you can still see a lot of trees uprooted and downed, and a lot of like bare minimum cutting the trees so they're not in the road. They're just kind of like jutting out, but not enough to stick into the road. And out in front of a lot of people's houses, there's all the insulation and drywall that they've ripped out to get the mold out of their house from a leak. Our family did pretty good. A couple trees got uprooted in the yard and out of, no power, no water for a while, but Hendersonville did not do too bad compared to some of the other spots. All right, up the road I go. Hope I still got some fries in the bag. Oh yeah, plenty of food left. All right, nice and easy, 3 miles and 1,000 feet to go. Spin it to win it. It's a dark and lonely road. Whew, one pedal at a time. Getting worn out. I think this is it. Holy moly. Use some energy getting here. Crazy, I could start with a full belly from lunch and still burn through the whole dang thing. Man, really nice in the sun. That whole climb was in the shade. Dark. This is so good. Oh. Yikes. Okay, hop. And another. Sweet. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just had to stall enough to swing the back tire. Uh-oh. Come on, come on. Oh, scraped the pedal. Would have had it. Yep, this is pretty cool. Yeah, you got to think some of these trails were made to be the easiest way up and down, but then some were made as a recreation thing, hiking thing, especially when you go through crazy rocks like that. Whoa, a little wet under there. Forcing it. Okay. Oy. All right. Goofy as I remember. Yeah, right there. Yeah. This rock has just got that slippy quality to it. Such a balance between going super slow like I was and having just enough momentum to get through. Awkward start. Yep. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, let's get it started for real now. Oh, landing with the parallel route is just nasty. Nice that everything's pretty dry. Haven't slipped except for that one little time. Probably more because of the leaves than anything. Ooh. Oh man, slippy. Sun in the eyes once again. Whoa. Talk about camouflage. Man. Whoa. Yeah. The invisible stair step. Oh. At least the sun wasn't in my eyes. Woo. Yeah. Oh. Caught the leaf edge. Wow. Whoa. Oh God. Woo. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Whew. Shout out to my buddy Brian, who I rode down this last time. Chasing him was amazing. He's the one who was responsible for me meeting Sarah. Pretty magical thing. Always thankful and grateful to him. Whoa. How many things had to line up in the universe? It's quite ridiculous. Life is just a culmination of happy accidents and hard work. Oh man, it's so fast, but there's still pointy rocks right in the trail. Woo. Avery and Bennett go together like peanut butter and jelly. Unless you have eosinophilic esophagitis and you're allergic to peanuts maybe, or maybe even jelly. Then maybe it goes together like beans and rice. Woo! Nobody's allergic to that, right? Oh man. Makes me want to go to Canoga and hit the jumps. Oh, this bike jumps. I'm not gonna have time for that. Oh man, still undefeated. One of the best rides in the world. I've got it on the Trail One list. Always got to update the Trail One list. Always searching for amazing rides like this. Treated me well.
It was 3.5 hours out there, 16 miles, 3,500 feet of climbing. And I loved every second of it. Still one of the best. I'll have my Trail Forks ride log in the description. Despite the fact that Strava has shut down the API, I always use Strava to record on my phone and then send it over to Trail Forks. I use Trail Forks way more, but in the past, Trail Forks wasn't that great at recording on your phone. I don't have a separate GPS device because my phone is already expensive enough. But I'm going to start recording on Trail Forks in the future and get rid of Strava. I've had enough. They haven't done anything in 10, 12 years. It was a good run. So, this was great. It's so good. I got so many more good rides to ride, but we've got winter coming up, so I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time at Everstoke. making things good, making things right, building stuff out. So I hope you stick around. But until then, do me a favor, go ride something new, and maybe I'll see you on the trail next year.